Number one is taking things a bit too literally. So when I was 13, my mum was in my room. She was moaning at me because I wasn't doing my homework, or I wasn't the most academic at school. So yeah, my mum was having a go at me, and then I remember she said to me, Jay, you need to pull your socks up. I, of course, then look at my socks and go, you know, getting a bit confused about how high they should be. Now, she remembers it, I remember it, we laugh at it. A very similar expression. Luckily, my mum didn't say this to me, but I don't think she said it to me, but it's pull your finger out your arse. If my mum were to have said that to me as a kid, things might have gone a bit, the conversation might have gone a bit differently.
My finger's not in my bum, Mum.
Number two, seeming blunt, rude or disinterested. I'm not sure if I've had this problem, but I think some people have said to me in the past that I might have seen them a bit blunt or not interested, but we just come across as not very interested. We come across like we don't really care, but we actually generally do. I remember once I was in this pub and there's this like young 18-year-old girl serving me. She was at the bar. She seemed very rude. She seemed like she really didn't care about anything, but then she would always keep bringing up, like, trying to talk to me. So I was getting a bit like weirded out. Not weirded out, but I was a bit like, every time I talk to you, you sound like you really couldn't give a shit. But then you kept like making conversation, and if you really didn't care and didn't want to talk to someone, you wouldn't keep making conversation when you're at a bar where you can just walk away and do something else. So that's kind of weird. Then I found out she was on the spectrum. I was like, ah, okay, so that makes sense. Seeming blunt, rude or disinterested. We're not rude, we're not blunt, we're not necessarily, but we just might come across that way. Number three is particular interests. Now, I find that having interests, very obsessive interests, or particular or obsessive interests, they come and go in my life. At the moment, not so much. Going back when I was 23, I was obsessed with flags of the world and maps and borders. I was obsessed. I'd even draw borders of Germany from 1919 or 1914, then 1941. I would just draw borders, then like I'd just draw flags and start memorizing all the flags. When I was a kid, I used to watch this film, like obsessively watch this film called Volcano. It's a film about a volcano, obviously. And then I used to draw little like buildings and roads and draw a volcano and slowly draw the road covering with volcano and burning down. I used to be obsessed with the film Titanic, not because the love story of Jack and Rose. Oh, Jack. Shut up. I used to always draw a boat and draw the interior. Then I used to always draw it sinking. They weren't good drawings. I was only drawing it on an A4 piece of paper, but I used to, yeah, draw it and have it sinking. And like, yeah, I was obsessed. Number four will be taking longer to process information. So I've been in arguments, not really arguments, but kind of arguments where like my girlfriend, this woman I'm with or something, I would be in an argument, not necessarily an argument, but a woman's like having a go at me, like my girlfriend or a woman that I'm sleeping with, whatever. She's having a go at me, or she's moaning at me for something that I'm doing. I would then literally just stand there. I would look down. I wouldn't look into her eyes, not because my eye contact was bad. I'm scared of her, you know. It's more that I'm not focusing on what her eyes or her mouth. I'm just looking down. That's how I process. I look down like, okay. Where a normal person might just, you know, have a complete quick answer to what's going on, I'll be literally just like trying to process it. It's like my brain would be like that little like Mac or like YouTube loading symbol. That's what my brain would be doing. So then after about like 5 minutes later, I'll be like, oh right, yeah, maybe I should apologize. So yeah, information, things can take longer to process for us. I'm sorry, it's just how we are. Number, what are we on? Number 6, number 5, number whatever, is kind of going back to what I said about the poor eye contact. I don't think I have a problem with it nowadays, but my eye contact used to be poor. I couldn't really look my mother in the eyes, I don't think. I couldn't look at other people in the eyes. Nowadays, I'm good at looking women in the eyes, especially if I'm flirting. Like, that's good. I would like, not like a creep.
Ah, sweetheart, you look lovely.
But I can flirt. I know how to flirt. I can look a woman in the eyes. With a man, it's slightly more intense for me, but I can still do it. Look, you know, make eye contact. But back in the day, I couldn't. And I know people on the spectrum that can't really look in the eye so much. It's a thing. Number whatever is feeling like an alien. Like, not a literal alien. I did a small video on this just a while back, but yeah, not a literal alien. But it's when you're like, for me, I'm in a friendship group, and then I just suddenly become a bit conscious, and I realise I just had these thoughts of, you know what, I don't feel like I truly belong in this friendship group. I don't feel like, I just feel different. I do generally feel like an alien, like trying to sort of blend in with this human society. I feel like that with my family. I can feel like an alien, but that is an autistic trait. Maybe it can happen with people who are not on the spectrum, but I mean, it is a trait of autism. And last one is noticing the smallest of details. So I'd have a colleague come into work, a female colleague, her name is Jess, and then she would suddenly have a different perfume on, like a very subtle different perfume. There's not much difference, but I'll literally instantly just notice it. And I'll say to her, "You perfume?" And then she'll say, how do you know? So I can be a bit like that. But it's kind of strange because sometimes I would not notice things. It depends what mood I'm in. If I'm like in a more of like focused mood, I would notice everything. But when I'm not, I wouldn't even notice like there's a dead body in the middle of the floor or something. That's a bit extreme, but you know what I mean. So yeah, these are a few traits. If you're on the spectrum, you might not necessarily have. And there are probably hundreds of other traits of autism. Autism is just a really big umbrella of neurodivergence, which is still very confusing even for me. So yeah, just a few traits for you. If you're wondering where I am, up over there is France. and over there is Germany. So I'm on the Rhine River. So if you don't know, my name is Jason. I make videos on self-improvement with a little autistic twist. You're clearly interested because you've made it this far to the video and you've not clicked off like a dumbass. So consider subscribing. I'll see you soon.